All right, are we here? Are we on? Am I heard? Are you able to hear me? Should I wear this headband? Should I not? I feel like I look a lot more me if I don't wear the headband. All right, let me double check on my phone that you guys can hear me. There isn't really much that rhymes with Twitch. Itch? Quidditch? Oh, hey, Casey. Yes, I am heard very well. Good, good. Gotta check it for myself with my own ears to make sure I sound good. Okay, so this is a very exciting stream. I know I've been away for a little bit, but if I'm ever away, I'm either fatigued. I'm either fatigued from my AuDHD or I am studying something. I am the type of person who loves to be able to use every single minute of my time. It might be a trauma response, but it also might be me like it feels good. It feels good to do things. And as we all know, here so regardless, we're all functioning in the best ways that we can. And that's what I'm doing. And okay, so let's cut to the chase. So something I've been working on for a while is I've always been working on myself, on my brain to help myself work and function better. Because the goal has always been to be able to function easier. So I've done a lot of studying with AuDHD itself, and I have found a YouTuber. Her name is Nicola Noble. It's spelled Knobel. I used to be much better at pronouncing names. Now it's not too much, but regardless, she has been doing the nitty gritty, like actual studying in recent studies on AuDHD. And she herself has AuDHD. And I am so grateful that I found her because, like I said, I've always been on it with studying myself and my AuDHD and whatever I can do to make life easier because it's fact to me now that people like me, the world is extremely 1,000,000,000 gazillion times harder than it needs to be. And I even had this conversation with one of my relatives the other day with how I've been struggling so much trying to get a job is that even people that aren't neurodivergent, that don't have autism, that don't have ADHD, are struggling in the workforce. So you could imagine, and I know because I've went through it. You could imagine how hard it is for someone that has disabilities, that has mental, physical disabilities, whichever. That this world, and we know this is a fact, that this world is not made for people with disabilities, no matter it being physical or mental or both. So I've been doing some deep digging with Nicola. I really hope I'm saying her name right. Nicola. And I've been binge watching her videos, and I want to still do it, but I'm becoming burnt out, which is a symptom. But she has confirmed to me she has, like, I haven't directly talked to her. I've literally just been binge watching her videos on YouTube, but with what I've seen, she has confirmed to me that I 1,000% have AuDHD, and the studies with AuDHD, especially women with the brain with women, hasn't been looked into until 1993. Like I know a lot of physical mental things have mostly for the most part been looked at from the male body, but females only got looked at until 1993 at all. So I am super excited that Nicola has been doing her own digging with looking at into current studies and not out of date studies. So like something that's coming to mind that I really really liked that she brought up is like if you look up ADHD, uh, ADHD hacks, ADHD bullet journaling, ADHD uh, methods, they are out of date. Like the one she specifically talked about was like 21 days. Like if you keep doing it for 21 days, you can form the habit. That uh is not factually correct for people with AuDHD. And I remember seeing that myself because I can tell because she has a Pinterest as well. Because part of my journey, I looked all over Pinterest myself, and there's so much information on Pinterest that you can that can be really fruitful. That could really help you. But I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. Like looking on Pinterest, you're trying to do a bullet journal, or at least you're trying to organize your life. That's basically what a bullet journal is for. But then she's saying that the people who made the bullet journal, yes, they were neurodivergent, but it's not accurate for people with autism and ADHD. Now, here's the thing that blew my mind that she said is it's only being studied now that autism and ADHD can be in one person. They never thought it could be combined. They thought you either have autism or you either have ADHD and that's it. So these are just like I'm just trying to spitball what I've contained, what I've learned from what she's been saying, and I'm so hyped that there are finally studies that are more recent, and that just makes me wonder like how my neuropsych evaluation is going to go. Next month, just to update you guys at the same time, next month I'm going to have the appointment where they set me up, and then we schedule the appointment. That's going to be 3 hours of me in a room or something doing all these tests and everything. But it's the only one in Rhode Island that I could find that actually looks at autism or looks for autism. So I really hope it's not out of date. It might be, but regardless, I at least know that the traits that I do have that scream autism. So I know that there's no doubt I will be diagnosed. But there's the other thing, as Nicola has said herself as well, is we get misdiagnosed as it being, I think, bipolar, because that's something my mom got diagnosed with, which she doesn't think she's bipolar. I don't think she's bipolar. We have another relative that's bipolar, and that's not her. So that's the other hiccup. But I mean, the whole, as like Cinna is saying, like we both know like this world is not made for everybody. It's made in the phrase that they expect everyone to climb the tree. If you've seen that that example, which basically means they want all of us to be able to do the same thing, where we're all built a bit differently or widely differently. Right. Right. Bipolar, BPD, generalized anxiety, all common misdiagnosis. Yep. Absolutely. And I am just happy to hear things are finally being looked at with not even with autism and ADHD, like I've been hearing there's even an even broader spectrum, which there should be. Like something about Asperger's. I say Asperger's. I know it's Asperger's. I like to have fun with my words. It's how I remember things. But before I get off track, I'm just happy that they're finally digging deep And my hope, at least, is that one by one, like each of us, like we have our voices, we can do what we have the power to do to be able to finally make the world a better place in the ways that we can, especially because we know what it's like to struggle. We are struggling for people that have disabilities, regardless. This world is not made to cater to everybody, and you got to fight for it if you got to fight to be able to have that. RAADS, sorry. Oh, yesterday got 194. Very autistic. Great. Great job. Wow. How about that? That's incredible. Well, that's awesome that you were able to do that. Yeah, so we'll see how my neuropsych test thing does it. Yeah, yeah, that is right. It isn't a diagnosis anymore. That it's very outdated. And high functioning and low functioning are outdated terms. Good to know. See, I'm still learning myself, so thank you for educating me. So, the big announcement I wanted to give pertaining to being able to function more easily is that my YouTube channel, I started my YouTube channel in 2020, and I started it with, and I still do this, with my ideas to share with the world, to share my ideas with the world that helps me function better. Low support needs, medium support needs, high support needs are what are. Ooh, I did not know that whatsoever. Good to know. I'll take that. Yeah, because like my whole thing, I've been trying to get workplace accommodations or worst case scenario go on disability. And I say worst case scenario because I don't want to have to rely on the government for income. But what is good is that uh, I can only work so many hours anyway with the whole burnout and everything, physical, mental symptoms, that you can work only a limited amount of hours if you are in disability. So that would be in my best favor. But again, I'm still on that journey. It takes time. But regardless. So yeah, I started my YouTube channel with sharing what works for me. And what I learned from Nicola is that, goodness, autism and ADHD really love to butt heads. Oh, that's great, Casey. I appreciate you listening regardless, and being here and supporting. So yeah, the two really like to butt heads, and she made so many things make so much more sense to me as to, like, for example, I have forever been creating these guides, but there's always something that slips up, something that, like, I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Like and the reason behind that is, like, for example, like, this is something we all relate to, is we love to get a brand new shiny notebook or a brand new shiny planner, a brand new shiny bullet journal where, we get to like pretty it up, follow all these guides. Well, here's the thing. You remember the part where you just don't have that spark anymore? Like, you just like that dopamine, that like rush of excitement is just not there, and you don't even want to touch the book anymore. Yeah, yeah, that's AuDHD. So the autism wants things to be perfect. It loves structure. It loves to, follow things precisely. Where then the ADHD is the chaotic side that wants to rip pages out, that wants to not follow the guides that autism made that could probably have been like a few days ago, because your brain is not in that it's like autism is not like at the forefront of your mind that day. ADHD is taking over that day. So it's like, no, like, I'm not gonna do all this. And then, like, what, like a day later or something, your autism brain is on that day in the front of your mind and looks at your journal and is like, ah. So it's a constant back and forth. Well, I feel so much better and so much more validated and happier that she described to me, again, just from watching her videos, that she described that this is AuDHD. And she has wonderful ways to be able to fix and manage it. And so do I. And that's the other thing. We are on so many different scales. We are not all the same, but we are all very alike. So each of us is just a bit different, but a lot the same. So like one so at least she knows, at least she like gave me the solid ground of like what AuDHD is. I'm trying not to go in circles here. Uh so anyway, the so you need that flexibility. And I didn't want to touch a bullet journal for a very long time because of how upset I've gotten by how I just, again, like I said, the dopamine is just not there no matter what I did. And I just resorted to my phone, which is a video I made as well as like an update video of me not using that binder anymore. I just use the Tasks app. And I love it. I do love it. It works wonderfully because I love that I can make a task just show me a notification at like a different time, because I don't like having a lot on my brain at all. Like the memorizing things is very, very difficult. So to be able to put like a task to tell me, or well, remind me at a different time really helps. So I love the task app, but there's again the chaos with the ADHD. So I flip-flop, and that's what ADHD needs in my experience. And it seems like what Nicola is saying as well, that we need that flexibility to be able to go back and forth with things. And we need those special tools that help us. So I wanted to show you guys where I am so far. I'm at the very, very beginning, but I've been wanting to share this for a long time. And here's the autism side. It's not good to wait until everything's perfect, you know? So, ugly notebook because you're more likely to use it. It's like pretty book. I don't want to ruin it. That's very true. Very true. So here's my version that I've been using for a bit. So I make it very plain. So here, this is my tactic. Now let me see how I can show this with my heart border here. So because of the ADHD with how it likes to be crazy, I made myself, I made myself a book. This is my own bullet journal. So it's literally just laminated white pieces of paper that I connected key rings to. So that gives me the freedom to just flip over so that so hold on, sorry. I'm trying to get my brain to work properly, but okay. So the rings are a huge gigantic big deal for me, because with like a regular book, you can't flip it over like that. So then it's like stuck open, you know? And I get so annoyed by that. It's just those little things, and it's like, why do you have to annoy me so much? But they do. And that's part of being on the spectrum. So that flexibility to be able to do that, to just flip it over in that way, means a lot to me. And as you can see, I have blank pages. Gotta go backwards here. I got blank pages So then the ADHD chaos can do whatever it wants. But here's the other thing. I can look at, like, say I get inspired by a format on Pinterest. I can make it into whatever I want. Say I don't like it, say I want to adjust it. This is where the fun part comes in. So I made this myself. So I can just clip it on. Now here's the other thing. I clip these onto a clipboard. So that I don't lose them and they're right there, and I could just take this off, you know, all in the same place. And losing things is well known with AuDHD. But yeah, on the go, really simple. There we go. And when I want to use it, I can just take this off and just have it on my lap or something, even clip it to my jeans or pants or whichever. And I could just take each one of these off. Because as you can see, I taped the lids, the caps. So that's my strategy right now. I will hope that it will still work, knowing how my brain likes to flip-flop. But I love this method with these dry erase markers. Now, with the dry erase markers, it adds another fantastic perk to it, because it's not the same as writing with a pen, a pencil. It's even more, it takes even less effort. Like, I feel like just drawing, especially with all the different array of colors that I have here, that sparks the dopamine for me. And separating each topic, separating each idea with the colors just adds to that organization, just adds to that flexibility, that, like, just seeing all the different colors on the page really helps motivate my brain to keep going, to have fun with it. And that's what we need. We need to have that dopamine to keep us going, to continue. So, and I love, just, you could just erase it. You can use all of your, well, not, I guess all of your senses in a way. Like, you can use your hands, like, you know, like, I love that there is I love that there is, like, a list of so many perks. Like, you got the colors, you got the you can just erase it. Now, that's another thing with having a bullet journal that I couldn't keep up with, is that there was no flexibility. Like, yes, the one that I made in 2020, I loved having it in a binder, but again, the binder can't flip like this. Like, this is nice and flat. That's what I was looking for, so I didn't have the annoyance of trying to bend the binder. And it was, of course, with AuDHD, the more steps, the more frustration, at least in my perspective. I like that I don't need to take out a piece of paper from the binder. I like that I'm saving paper. I like that there isn't a big amount of like, words that, like, I would need to copy over to, like, another page and then throw that paper out. And again, it's less steps, but it's also less overwhelm for me, at least, because I don't have this binder that's piling up with all of these papers that if I want to start over, if I want to tweak anything, I can just erase a tiny little part. I love how flexible that is. And yeah, you could do that with a pencil and eraser, but I don't like how you got to either sharpen a pencil or with a mechanical pencil, like erasing it. Again, that could appease, is that the word? I try and use big words. That could please someone who likes the texture, who likes to erase. But then you could rip the paper. Like, again, like, this is just what works for me. Everyone's a little bit different, but I really like this idea. And I hope someday that I can make a bunch of these and be able to sell them. So I'm letting you guys in on this idea I've had for a long time. And again, the flexibility, there's so many things you can do with this. And I like that I made a lot of these blank pages, because I can just simply flip to another one, you know? I could just simply flip if I, because I'm always bouncing between so many different ideas, and with the burnout being so real, I can be so tired of one topic, but I don't want to forget what I'm doing, or like I don't want to leave being in the middle of it. That's why I always like, whenever I get into something, I want to complete it all within the same day because of where my brain is at that day. So having this with multiple blank pages allows me to be able to flip through and go to a new slate, a new page, to go and do whatever itches my brain the right way that day. Because I could not fathom how difficult it is to try and continue something when your brain is just not even in that ether, when your brain just isn't even in that mode, that setting that day. And it's so frustrating that you can't just do it. But that's how it is. And we gotta try and have the right tools. We gotta try and do whatever we can to help. So here's like something else that I have. It's just boxes, and I like to use these to put different ideas in to sort out my thoughts. So I guess you could say it's kind of like a word map. What's it called? Mind map. But it's just in the form of squares. So I use my different colors in that sheet myself. I have some things written down in this, but I just don't want to. Oh, here we go. So this one I just made the other day. This one, let's see. There we go. That's better. This one I just took off an idea from Pinterest, and it's when did I last? I like to put the title in the corner there as I'm like turning the pages. It's right there. But like, when did I last change my bed sheets? And I like to put the date. And here's something that Nicola brought up too, which is brilliant. Is, well, we are very sensitive people, and we don't like to see or be reminded of things that we haven't done, things that because it makes us feel like a failure, because it gives us that not good feelings. And that's why a bullet journal isn't made for people like us, where you need to check off where it has you check off did you drink water today, like where you need to keep up with it, and it's painful. And I had a point in my life when I was trying that, and I was like, what is wrong with me? Why can I not keep up with this? Why is this so painful? And it's because it's not made for our brain, even though they say it is. But again, not updated, not researched enough, or, well, yeah, researched enough, but you get what I'm saying. That needed more research at the time for a correct bullet journal. So I believe, at least from what I've been able to find at this point in time, there's so much new things coming out that I saw like during 2020 where a lot of people realized like, oh, I'm very different. I operate very differently from others. Because everybody was at home with themselves, I guess. But regardless, um there are, at least from what I saw with Nicola's videos, there are at least solid facts that have helped me really put together the puzzle in a better way with what to do and what not to do with my brain, and like what helps, what makes it harder. So what makes it harder is having to keep up with something you need to do the same every day, in a sense. So that's why I like with the when did I last page I'm trying out here, is just to have the date. There's no sadness to it. There's no like unchecked boxes. It just says a fact. It says, for example, in black here, I changed my bed sheets last May 3rd. I don't really remember the date because I didn't write it down then. I only just started this, but I know it wasn't too long ago. So that just gives me a something to work around, something to be like, oh, okay, so I usually like to change my bed sheets either, depending on the person, every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, or every month, or so and so. So there's that too. And I learned that ADHD, I believe it's ADHD, loves data. It loves collecting data. So this is a way of doing it that itches that part of our brain. So like I have another one where I did the laundry on 5/11. And yeah. So I like this method that I have going on. I do want to keep updates with it, but I wanted to get this out on my How to Love YouTube channel, which I'm live on right now, streaming from Twitch. And I just want to help you guys as I am sharing my journey with my own AuDHD, and really hoping that and here's the other detail with Nicola that's absolutely incredible that I haven't gotten to yet, is she has basically, I bet we've both basically been in the same shoes. I like to share that I was practically a manager. I didn't, just so you guys know, so this is clear, I didn't have the title manager, but I could have been manager, and I acted like a manager because I didn't want to have the title because I would be incredibly burnt out if I ever became that. I would be on salary. I would have no life left to me because I would basically need to live there. Yada yada, all that. But I knew, basically still know, the ins and outs of the place and would run it like clockwork. I made guides for the employees and myself. It basically started, the guide started for myself, but then I was like, oh, I'll share this with the team because it'll make us work better and we have a great thing going on, until the higher ups not figured out, but like noticed that we were their best functioning gym, and they didn't like that. Too much of a good thing, I guess, huh? Well, regardless, Nicola did her own research in creating a guide for managers to be able to run their workplace for people that are neurodivergent, that have disabilities, to understand. And that, I would say, that would have been something I would have, like, that would have been a road I would have went down. So I am so incredibly happy to hear that someone has done it. But of course, we just got to get it rolling. We need that in workplaces, because then I could probably be able to get a job again. But of course, I advocate for myself already since I already did. But I was so grateful to have a manager who was also neurodivergent. And it's, this world is broken. So they kept it broken just like at my workplace. They didn't like how we ran it, even though we ran it the best way it could have ever been ran. Oh, and just so you guys know, with how it's running nowadays, complete. It's horrible. Running horribly from what I've heard. So it's like they knew what they were looking for, what they wanted, and that's what they got. So well, regardless, there's that outcome, but we really really need to have workplaces change in some way so that they can have that support. So I guess you could say I'm an example because I'm really trying myself to get back in the workforce so that I can survive. And I'm saying survive because I was just barely surviving, even with the support I had from my neurodivergent manager. And I would just love to have those tools to be in most workplaces because neurodivergent people like us, like most of us, it seems like are either like me, like are burnt out or about to reach burnout. And like we just have so much of a better way of functioning out here, like out here on the internet, being creative. Like we function differently, and it's a good way of functioning because we just aren't made in the way that the world wants us to function. So yeah, that's my speech that I wanted to come on here for. Uh and I would love to continue and at least change and help other people with my speeches on here. Or if I could be able to someday be able to build and sell my own bullet journals or something like that. Who knows? But we're all just trying to make it here. I'm trying to do what feels good in my heart at the same time. And yeah, I think that's it. So, I would highly suggest to check out Nicola Noble, NiCola KNOBEL, for some nice chats that she does through her videos. I'm actually surprised that with how many followers she has, the views she has on her videos are very short, and it looks like she only just got back onto YouTube with this amazing new research that she has with AuDHD that she only started about a year ago. So I've been watching those most recent videos. And we'll continue to. I just gotta try not to burn out myself, because AuDHD. But I cannot fathom or I cannot express how relieved I feel because she has basically answered everything with all of the issues I've been having, and it's all literally just AuDHD. So, so I really hope that the world could be a better place because you can take a look at yourself and make that change. And like I keep saying, I'm just so proud of Nicola to be able to put in that that there's current research going on with AuDHD, get it into the workplaces so that people like us can finally work. And I mean, like I shared this on my Instagram story the other day that alike people, like neurodivergent people, just need to make their own business, really. Because we all understand each other, and that's how it was at my workplace. It was just the people that controlled us, the higher ups, that didn't like it. But if that didn't happen, we I would still be there, and we would still be a great business. But I love this amazing additional layer and guide that Nicola has put together for managers, for workplaces to follow so that we can function even better. Because even now, here's the thing that is just so baffling to me. Like, even though I had a neurodivergent manager, of course, the poor thing had to follow what her bosses were telling her to do, and they were overworking her like mad and taking advantage of her. Because I like to think that people like us that are neurodivergent are softer than others, and she was like that, but she had to be tough, as we all do, at the same time. But because she cared so much for her people, the people of the gym, the people that her team, she would give everything and more. And she had nothing left for herself, and that absolutely broke her. And then when she was out, because I'm not saying I had, I like I covered for her, so I was manager myself. While she was healing, the whole mess that is so unnecessary. That's when I had my mental and physical breakdown because I had no support. I called them too, and yeah, it's like, nope, nothing. And yeah, so I don't want to get too deep into it. I already have a bunch of times, but my point is that even though I had a fantastic neurodivergent manager and we both supported each other back and forth in the best ways that we could. Have a great nap, Casey. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Even though we had that support, I was still just barely hanging on. And I noticed from being out of work for over 2 years now, the stress was number one with me. And the masking, like those two were, and the stamina, and needing the stamina. So like I came from a job where I was recovering from having my gallbladder removed and having a doctor have me go on this and that medications, and it nearly uh taking me from this planet because of what the medications did to me. So I was coming from that. I was healing from that, and I was able to at least figure out what foods agreed with me and what disagreed with me completely, cutting out any medications, anything that doctor was saying with how much it hurt me, to going completely all natural. So I had a foundation. So with that foundation, it really did help me with working at Planet Fitness. It really did help me, especially having a neurodivergent boss. But here's the thing. Was having to mask. Uh and it was easier in a way to mask because I had this script I could follow. There was this routine, and I want to know every single detail, and my manager gave it to me because of course, having somebody that's like her, and I've always been to the T, so trustworthy, with running things exactly the way she does, um, is essential. So, so that helped my AuDHD a lot, was to be able to know the ins and outs as soon as I could, to be able to have a script that I made to be able to have a guide. But what I struggled with, which I didn't know at the time, which I got from Nicola, that confirmed to me, is I would make these guides, but and I would make them at home too. So I was like 24/7 working basically. And we had a group chat too, so you never left work basically. But that's another story. Uh so this guide would be amazing one day, but then the next day I'd be like, "Oh, I could tweak this." Or like, "Oh, this doesn't really work as much as it did." So I was in this endless loop, and I don't really do it anymore because I don't need to take notes for a job right now. But even for jobs after that, for interviews that I've went to, I would take verbatim notes of anything I could find, driving myself crazy because one, my memory isn't there, but two, it helps me feel more prepared, more safe, more grounded to be able to pursue that job. Since I don't function the same way a regular person does, but also three is to be able to have use less energy because it takes so much energy to be able to balance all of these different things with uh how to do things with how to remember how to talk, how to remember to uh stand, like, and how to like make sure my temperature of my body is not going too hot, too cold, or like the sensitivity of sound, the sensitivity of what my skin feels like. It's a lot of layers that the regular person without AuDHD doesn't have to deal with. So no wonder we're always so exhausted and fatigued. And I know I go above and beyond with my note taking, but it's because I cannot stand having to keep on asking someone questions, the same questions, because that's what would happen if I didn't have my notes. I would keep asking the same questions over and over and over again that I already knew the answer to, but because of how my brain works with how it likes to switch how it is functioning every single day or even times of the day, that I completely forget things. And that's why I make guides. That's why I really thrive with that, but it's because I have to and it's exhausting. So that's why it's very important to be able to, and again, Nicola has really validated me, to be able to have this routine with having these tools to be able to have when these things happen, when burnout happens, when fatigue happens, when executive dysfunction happens, when decision paralysis happens, like a whole list of things that we have. And it just feels very freeing to finally be able to have confirmation with how hard life is for people like us. So, my whole gist of including my work is I am extremely grateful that I was able to have a neurodivergent boss, but even with that, with having that, and us being able to help each other the best ways we could, and I don't even want to say being able to help each other because they didn't even like that. Um, but you guys get what I'm saying. That even though I had that, I was just hanging on myself. And what broke me was when she wasn't there. And I knew exactly what to do. I was at the point where I basically had every question answered. I knew how to handle every single situation, and I did. And what took me out was not having the support, um, was having to do it on my own. And that, and it was an extreme situation. Uh, and it completely broke me. So it's really a shame. Really a shame. Um, but yeah, this with what Nicola has shared, it's really given me a lot of relief. And I'm just excited to keep learning from her and to continue learning from the videos that she has posted this year and to keep on with her with this journey with recent research with AuDHD so that not only me, but others can finally make a living, to make a consistent living. And not be so fatigued and so burnt out, to be able to have that tool, those tools, that flexibility to be able to keep up, because we function so differently and we need to have certain tools to be able to balance ourselves so that we're not like, and I love that she validated this too. She validated that people with AuDHD can be burnt out for weeks, but especially months. I'm months. I am months and I am weeks. And it that just really helps me feel so much better, because it's like I'm just, I don't know if you guys could hear that. Probably not, but it's a loud vehicle. But I'm just so relieved that I finally have so much validation of what I've been struggling with, and that's all just AuDHD. So definitely, if you're gonna go and follow her with this journey, uh, you could give me a shout to say, hey, how to love. Love is awesome. Like I came from her stream or something like that if you want to. But yeah, I kind of hope one day to pick her brain and for her to pick my brain with like my experience with working and having like the opportunity to work with a neurodivergent manager, and how that was like, and how it only failed because people who don't have AuDHD didn't like our potential. Yeah, so I just wanted to hop on and give that wonderful speech to you guys, and hope to inspire you guys that, you know, as much not good news there is in the world, there is good news. And our brain likes to pay attention to the bad news to protect us more, but gotta stick with the good news as much as you can. Gotta remind yourself. And that's another thing with us being uh, gentle AuDHDers, is we need to have those reminders, and I'm going to start that myself, to have the reminders up and in places that say, like, you know, you don't have to keep up with something every day. She has it on her website, like that have been incredibly helpful, so I'm going to make up my own that really resonate with me. Uh, anything else I can? That's pretty good. I spitballed for an hour. But whether it's like bouncing back and forth from my phone, the tasks app, like I think it's priorities as well. Like I like to put my doctor's appointments on the task app because those are very important. And I like that I can change the color of the tasks on there too. so that they stand out. Because I tend to take now again, my memory is just not there whatsoever. And even if I try and remember, it's like a game of telephone as if the conversation or topic went through like 5 different people and I got the answer after the 5 people. That's how good my memory recall is. So I immediately jot down whatever is told to me or whatever comes to mind right then and there, so I know it's correct, that it's fact. But that's just the flaw of with me with immediately jotting it down in my task app, because the appointments could get lost. But if I'm ever on my phone, I just go through it, kind of clean it out, and it has a lot of flexibility to be able to move things around. Again, that's like the ADHD part, to be able to move things into different sections, into different folders. So I really, really, really love that, and I've been able to stick to it. And it does have a calendar function where you can see what day is what, which I do need to use more. Because that's the only thing that I've been really off with, is like, oh, what day is like the 15th? Speaking of, my birthday is this Friday. Gonna be 28. It's crazy, right? So excited. I love the day of me. As we all should. But back to it. Uh it's just been a very long time. I have been trying to have a system that works for me. So I feel like Nicola really helps solidify what is what, with when it comes to like why I keep falling out with systems, why certain systems don't work, like the bullet journal tracker where you're tracking your progress every single day, why that is. But I really love her. I really love I really love her language of the words that she uses to describe things, which I try to do. I try to use the right big words. But yeah, she goes over the executive dysfunction and everything related to that, which, oh, was it emotional regulation? Goodness, I need so much help with that. So I'm excited to get to go deep into that with her. And just keep going and really hoping to get to a good place so that I can finally have consistent income coming in again. Cause hey, my problem is, well, here's the good thing. The good thing is I know what I can and can't eat. The bad thing is that it's the sensory, so like having to eat cold food. Because I deal with being absolutely freezing, that I need to dress in layers. But then when I get too hot and I'm in layers, I gotta take it all off, but then I get cold again after I eat, and it's always flip-flopping. So that's just, I don't think that's AuDHD. Might be just trauma, could be autoimmune disease, who knows what. Being a female, birth control, what, anything like that. Ah. It's like, I feel like being this way, like you have to try and be perfect because there are so many layers of things to have to deal with. Whether, it's sensory, whether it's what you feel on your skin, noises being too loud. That's another thing with noises. Goodness grief. Like why apparently normal people are able to just filter out background noise. We, or at least I, hear all noises, and too much is like too much, like too many noises. Like why? I just want to wear headphones all the time now. Yeah, so it's a fun world. um, but yeah, with my stomach issues on top of that, I don't blame myself with being where I am. I at least have been able to be and feel validated. But of course, with the stomach issues, it does on top of it does not help. Or anybody who has other issues on top of it. I don't blame anyone for not being able to function in this world whatsoever. It's tough. It's really hard. And that's why I think it's extremely important to do what you can to not live alone, to have a support system, to because you could be like with what I've experienced, you could be burnt out and can't move. That's happened to me so many times. And that's why it's so important for me to follow the right protocols for people of my brain. So I'm excited to be able to keep all this in mind from what I've learned from her as much as I can. Because keeping up with anything is difficult, but at least these things I know do work with me. I just need to keep all of this information like around with my brain. All right, so I'm gonna be off. Thank you to those who stayed and listened. Thank you to those who are watching the VOD, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube. Uh, and um, and yeah, I'm around on the internet, Instagram. I like to post unique content to each platform, so like Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitch on here. So yeah, if you'd like more of me, I'm at those places, and you can find more in like my description of like my YouTube channel itself on the homepage or on Twitch here down below. In like my About Me section or something, or if you scroll down. All right, well, I hope you guys all have a great restful day. So you guys have some bright sunshine going on, no dark clouds. At least that doesn't give you the brain fog. Thank you very much for sticking around, and I hope I spread some inspiration and love as always. So take care and have a great day.